Hey everybody, welcome to WCAX. This is our live desk streaming show that kicks off every day here around 9:15. We have a quick one today. Peter is off doing a promo shoot, so he will not have the weather for us. But if you want to see that, you can see it at Channel 3 at noon. Just moving on now, we had a story come up this morning from our Laura Ullman about the Royalton Public Safety Committee meeting. And Laura, first of all, thanks for hopping on this morning. Kind of shed some light on this. Just first things first, run me through where this was and I guess kind of what spurred this to people to come together and just kind of be concerned about what's going on in town.
So last night, my photographer Ellie and I drove down to the Royalton Academy building, which is, I guess, where their senior center is, where one woman, and I believe her name is Beth Whitehall. Sorry, sometimes I forget last names. She decided to hold a public safety forum and to form a public safety committee after her home was broken into. Sitting there and listening to some of the 36 people share their stories about their experiences with crime in Royalton, I think that a lot of this spurred from what the sergeant told me was drug-related crimes that eventually turned into home break-ins and drug use, possession, selling, buying, and oftentimes thievery or stealing.
Absolutely. And kind of, I know that there's a lot to unpack there, and what was discussed as far as some of those solutions in town. I know there was, talks of a neighborhood watch subcommittees. What are those solutions that they're looking at to see, how we can, figure this out internally there?
That's right, John. So the big ones were that they were going to form a committee and have people be appointed by their select board to be on that committee, and then they were going to form subcommittees. One that dealt with legislative affairs, one that would talk with the state's attorney, another one that would have a relationship with EMS, and sort of be liaisons for the town. And they also wanted to implement a neighborhood watch, sort of that national strategy that some towns throughout the U.S. use, where a neighborhood is appointed a captain and would be trained by this public safety committee, and then they I'm not actually sure how exactly Neighborhood Watch works, but they would, again, have close relationships with police and monitor the safety of the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that the sergeant recommended that people get cameras and, take it upon themselves to sort of provide the proof that may be the reason why people would not be able to violate conditions of release anymore, because they would have proof that and be put away a little quicker in the criminal justice system.
Absolutely. And then as far as just these public safety meetings go, is this something that they're going to continue to keep doing, throughout the next coming weeks, months, et cetera, just to kind of keep a pulse on what's going on there?
What I know for sure is that in October there will be another public safety forum.
Yeah.
I believe by then the people who signed up last night to be on the public safety committee would be appointed. And then there would be that other public safety forum again in October, and then they're hoping by January to sort of have a plan for the legislative session to sort of lobby their legislators.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Laura. Like I said, a good amount to unpack here, and I think you did a pretty good job of that through your story as well that aired this morning. So we can pull that up, and of course, the more the information comes down the pike, of course, we can keep an eye on that for sure. But Laura, thanks for hopping on this morning. And kind of walking me through a little bit here, because I know it can be a bit to unpack for a couple people tuning in. So,
yeah, it was interesting, at least to hear from the sergeant who attended from VSP to sort of say how all crime is related, and many Vermont towns. All right, thanks, John.
Awesome, thanks so much, Laura.
Bye.
Again, that was our Laura Ullman, just kind of shedding some light there on the Royalton Public Safety Committee meeting. A lot of people in town just a little concerned as far as what's going on there. I'm going to pull this up real quick. We can take a look at her story that aired this morning. So let's take a look at that. All right.
Complaining about it isn't a solution, as my grandma used to say, And doing nothing is not an option because now it's my family's safety that's at risk.
Beth Wilhite lives in a modest home in a quiet neighborhood in Royalton. That's why it was so unexpected when someone broke into her house in October of 2023.
It was terrifying.
It's part of the reason she began the Royalton Public Safety Committee and decided to hold a public forum with Vermont State Police, the chief of Royalton's police force, and her community.
We care and we are trying.
The officials and townsfolk were in complete consensus about how the increase in crime the town had seen since 2018 had shaken the community. Many attendees shared stories of their personal experiences as victims of crime.
Caught them in the act.
It's a similar story across the state. Drug and alcohol use bringing about crimes like theft, county police short-staffed and stretched thin, repeat offenders violating conditions of release and returning to the streets because of court backlogs and what many residents called, quote, questionable decisions by judges.
Burlington is facing its own unique public safety crisis. The city of St. Albans is facing its own unique public safety crisis. The town of Royalton might have its own public safety issue going on. It's not all the same story.
Ted Brady with Vermont's League of Cities and Towns commissioned a report on public safety in the state, and its results came as no surprise. He says although it's not the same story, Vermont cities and towns are all facing the same troubling intersection of the opiate crisis, mental health struggles, and under-resourced policing.
That the police are the only ones responding in many of these towns, and that's probably not the right solution. That's why places like Burlington and St. Albans have hired or integrated public mental health safety workers into their police departments.
So what can be done? In Royalton, they're forming a public safety committee that almost all of those in attendance at the forum signed up to be a part of. They're setting plans in motion to form several neighborhood watches with training sessions. They're also hoping to form subcommittees, one that has a strong, direct relationship with emergency services, another that lobbies legislators, and another to try to work with the state's attorney.
I don't know what the solution is, but I know that we need to get together, we need to start talking, and we need to start figuring some things out.
Wilhite tells me there will be another public safety forum in October, hoping to finish up their plans for the legislative session in January. Reporting in Royalton, I'm Laura Ullman, Channel 3 News.
And again, that was Laura Ullman talking about the Royalton Public Safety Committee meeting. You can see that full story online at WCAX.com. As far as today goes, Peter, again, had to step out just real quick to do a promo shoot, Mr. Hollywood himself. So there is no weather forecast today, but you are taking a beautiful look at Rutland there. Hopefully you can get outside and enjoy it. That's the most weather coverage I can possibly give you. So we apologize for that. But that being said, you can see Peter and I again on Channel 3 News at noon. Of course, you can see all of our stories on WCAX.com and our evening shows as well. So I think that in mind, let you guys go a little bit early and get started with the rest of your day here. So take care.